Another chef has slipped through time into Joseon. But instead of finding fortune, she lands in the era of a ruthless king. Here, her life depends on every dish she serves, and the tyrant's heart may be her greatest challenge of all. We begin in Joseon, where Yoon Ji-young, a modern-day chef, is dragged before King Lee Hwan. History remembers him as both a brilliant gourmet and a merciless ruler. Ministers demand her execution, accusing her of bewitching the king with food. But instead of death, Hwan delivers a shocking decree: Ji-young will be appointed head chef of the royal kitchen. It is no honor. Her survival now rests on impossible conditions. She must serve him meals that never repeat. Every dish must delight him. And if even one fails, her life will end. But how did this ambitious chef from the 21st century find herself in the most dangerous kitchen of Joseon? The answer lies in the year 2025. Ji-young is on a flight back to Korea after triumphing in a prestigious culinary competition in France. In her bag rests an old book she retrieved for her father, Manganrok, a Joseon-era manuscript. To her surprise, its pages are not only historical records but carefully detailed recipes. A page is missing, and at the back, a note is written: "My dearly beloved, if you ever read this one day, may you return to my side." She laughs at the romantic words, but fate is listening. A solar eclipse darkens the sky, and in a single moment of blinding light, Ji-young is pulled from the future and cast into Joseon. In the palace, King Lee Hwan hides wounds that run deep. His mother was deposed and killed, and the scar of betrayal has hardened him into a tyrant. He trusts no one, fears no god, and scoffs at superstition. Until the day he encounters Ji-young. It happens during a royal hunt. Deep in the forest, Hwan comes across a strange woman in foreign clothing. She shouts words he cannot comprehend, brandishes a small weapon, and calls him a madman. To Hwan, she appears less like a woman and more like a spirit wandering the woods. Convinced she is a ghost, he prepares to strike her down. But before his blade can fall, an assassin's arrow cuts the air. Both tumble together from a cliff into the river below. The fall is brutal but not fatal. Wounded, Hwan lies bleeding, and Ji-young instinctively reaches for the modern tools she still carries: her scarf, a small tin of Vaseline, her knowledge of first aid. She saves him, still believing he is nothing more than a delusional cosplayer lost in the forest. He insists he is king. She ties him up and drags him by rope like a stubborn horse. Their arguments fill the forest with tension and reluctant laughter. Shelter appears in the form of an old house, where they meet Seo Giljeom, a quiet young woman who warns them that these woods belong to the king. Ji-young, still blind to reality, shares a simple meal of bibimbap with Giljeom and her supposed cosplayer. For Hwan, the taste is more than food. It awakens a memory, his mother's gentle hand feeding him as a child. The king's eyes sting with tears he will not admit. But the peace shatters when royal guards storm the woods. Hwan is retrieved, and Ji-young and Giljeom are taken by officials. They are locked among other women chosen for chaihong, a cruel practice of offering women to the palace. Ji-young laughs it off at first, believing it all to be an elaborate historical reenactment. But reality sinks in when she is told that, at 27, she is already considered too old for the royal harem. Instead, she and Giljeom are sent to the kitchens. For Ji-young, it is both a nightmare and an opportunity. Surrounded by ancient tools and strange ingredients, she feels as though she has stepped into a living museum. Yet here, she is given her first chance to prove herself. The task: prepare a banquet for the governor's guests. With no modern conveniences, Ji-young improvises. She sears meat with skill, fashions sauces with what little is available, and creates a French-style steak unlike anything Joseon has ever seen. But the guests, Minister Im Seo-hong and his son, Chief Royal Secretary Im Song-jae, are not impressed. They sneer at the small portions, insult her foreign style, and order her flogged. Desperate, Ji-young wagers her life on the dish. The crowd waits. The ministers refuse to acknowledge the flavor. But when King Hwan himself enters and demands to taste it, the tide turns. One bite is enough. The tyrant closes his eyes, savoring the tenderness, the fire, the craft. He calls it exquisite, and condemns the IMS for their lack of refinement. Ji Young's life is spared. More than spared, Hwan declares she will accompany him to the palace. But in the palace waits danger greater than any kitchen fire. Concubine Kong Mok-ju, once a courtesan, has long held the king's side. In truth, she is a spy placed by Prince Joseon, who nurses a 17-year grudge against the throne. With Ji Young's sudden arrival, Mok-ju feels her power threatened. She vows to crush the newcomer before she can take root. Thus begins a tale of flavors and fate. A chef from the future who longs to return home, and a king trapped in his past. In a palace where every meal could be poison, every ally a traitor, and every word a risk, will her cooking change the heart of a tyrant? Or will love itself be the most dangerous dish of all?